Red Grim.
That was her drop. Drop in the bag.
This is Thorman, right? Or no, this is the guy that we had a
is-
conversation with.
Thank you, commissioners.
Hey, B, do you have one of your packets that you handed out? I meant to get one beforehand. Can I get one of those?
Talked about opening up the rifle zone.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
made comments yourself about the rifle
Thanks,
zone.
Marcy.
Some of the comments are not wrong. In southern Michigan, where we live, we have 3, 4, 5 acre
Turn this guy up.
parcels.
This is the
You
guy
put a
that
guy with a
This is an
30
angry
six
guy.
that'll shoot 2.8 miles. You trust that?
A
Can you
30
shoot
out
long
6,
range?
2.8 miles.
And
Perfect
everybody on the
conditions.
commission shoot long range.
Zero chance of it happening
Shot
on
long range.
on a deer.
a flat plane.
Yeah.
How many guys
And you have to hold it at a 60-degree angle.
Maybe many is there? But you're going to put guys out here in zone 3 with high-powered rifles
High-powered, right?
and not think about what you're doing?
I'm glad he's got the aggressive nature like he did when he came up to us, though.
Halfway across the field with an odd 6.
Oh, you
Don't
were
think
just
you
an
have to take a
appetizer.
chance at shooting.
Yeah.
You were just an appetizer.
You're putting a lot of lives on the line when you did that.
He's passionate. We'll give him that.
John,
Yeah.
you were wrong. I have a picture right here. That's my blind. That went through my chair. That's over 300 yards off the line.
Saw that picture.
If I'd have been in that, I'd have been dead.
How does he know that
Rethink
that's what
policy
happened,
on
though?
three. And as far as the deer goes, please, I'm begging this commission,
It doesn't matter what gun
Go
they have
shoot
in
on
it,
the
though. Like,
don't take away guys' opportunities for $2. There's a group of this state that want big bucks only.
Yeah, because what, with a...
That's not what Michigan's about. We're about tradition. In the 80s, we had $4.
You're going to traditionally kill
We used to have $4.
the herd.
more bucks than does.
$600
That's
higher.
healthy.
And less deer than we have now. Now you want to reduce us? You want to cut back what we shoot? What we harvest in
No,
this state?
shoot does.
That's wrong.
Replace buck kills with
You
doe
want money?
kills.
The DNR wants money?
Why is it so hard to
I'll tell you right now,
understand?
we've been
Because he's
so
got a
hard on
platform and he
our
doesn't
senators.
want to. He doesn't want to
We're gonna
listen.
put
He just
pressure.
wants to
The
word
DNR
vomit.
is not thinking about it. You want to
Grandstand.
raise our rates, raise our licenses, raise our fees.
Raise your
And you
hand.
want to cut back on what we have.
Get off the cross. We need the wood.
Go to the policies, earn about all for it. That sounds like a great policy.
Well, they're trying to
But do it
implement
for the
that.
whole state. Don't just say, hey, we're going to try this right now. That's not going to work.
Because it sounds great because it
Right,
makes you
two
feel good
bucks.
about still having your buck
Earn
tag.
a buck,
Because they
take
love.
that dough.
Yeah, and when he was here first in the beginning
We've
when he
had
was talking
animal
about it,
partnerships still with
I feel
our
like he
license
was saying
for how
stuff
many years?
to avoid you saying, well, it's a mulligan
Don't take
tag.
away your hunting.
Right.
Yep.
I
And think about
really
what
feel
you
like
guys
he
talk about
was
your
careful with his wording to
Please.
avoid going, oh, you mean
Somebody
your
gets
mulligan
killed?
tag.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to
He
say,
did end up saying it,
you guys will
though.
get sued.
He did he? Okay, I was
The
busy
commission will get
thinking
sued
around.
Yep.
because you guys passed.
That's his management buck.
And who's going to pay for it?
I don't know if he used the. Did he use mulligan? I feel like he
Higher
did.
commission
I don't know if he'd
are gonna
use
pay for it.
mulligan or not.
I'm sorry, Mr. Walters. You are all for it. You're all for this rifle zone. You don't hunt in zone 3.
Also,
Whoa, he's like calling him out.
He is
You hunt
too.
down here?
500 yards is 56 inches of drop on a 30-06.
50
But I
thick.
Yeah.
appreciate your
yeah, so I wasn't too far
That's
off.
about as
on
tall
the
as-
No, like if
60-degree
you
angle.
if you are pointed
like, well,
at,
hunter safety. The last guy
like
behind me
level
Yeah.
and
said
you
I
are
was Asian.
standing
Hunter safety. Hunter safety's out on
at
line
600 yards, you're
now.
in
Not
the
like the old
dirt.
days
Yeah.
where
Like there's
we
no
had
way
to
about
shoot
it.
56 inches. That's about as tall as Brad.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
different state. We
You guys haven't met Brad yet. but-
What is the drop on a 30-06 at 500 yards? Brad.
I understand
Yeah, Brad.
hunters are all responsible. Supposed to be.
That's a whole
But there's
Brad.
also sites in the world.
We live in Michigan. We will use anything but the
So
metric
please think
system
about
to
what
measure
you're doing.
distance.
Pretty
Before you do it.
much.
You pass this rule,
It's
somebody
already
gets hurt,
passed.
It's going to come back.
Yeah, it's already passed.
And
Chill,
our deer
dude.
hunting
Chill,
here,
dude.
and please go back.
Did he
change the
specifically
rule
say it
back.
was a 30-06 round that
You got
went
guys
through?
out
He
here
did.
for a weekend
He said the
away,
30-06 goes
1, 2 days.
2.7 miles.
Eight.
They're not gonna go out here
2.8
and
miles.
six
Okay.
point.
And that's the one that
You
hit
guarantee
his,
6 point buck for
No.
everybody?
He didn't say what it was. He said,
No.
what does it look like to you? And I said, look like a high
Anybody
power
at
gun, but I don't
Michigan?
know.
You can't.
Well,
Could be a 350
but
Legend. Could be a
the thing
9
is, you show
That's
somebody
their
that
block. That's
picture.
their
That's
trophy. Let 'em have what
perspective.
they
Like it could
want.
be a 22 for all I know.
Shove it down throat.
You could
Take
see the
buck, take
lead,
buck,
so it wasn't carrying a whole lot of foot
You
pounds.
spoke about out of state.
It was a
One of the
2x4.
states. We
What?
need to stop that
So
right now.
what is the
We are
largest
not
straight wall
Virginia, we're not
cartridge?
Pennsylvania. We are Michigan. Use
Is
Michigan
it
only
500
data.
Legal.
nitro,
legally that you could have used.
That's not the same with us.
460.
460.
460.
Oh no, how about a 50 Beowulf?
Was that in the
Pennsylvania, everything's
requirement?
different.
Was that did that meet the
Michigan
cartridge
data.
length?
I think so.
I
Okay.
appreciate
But-
your time. talked to
Yeah, I
the
think so.
commissioners.
I
appreciate
think
all
that's a
what
straight
you're
well.
doing,
That has
but
no
these
neck
things
on it.
will check
Guys
them
are shooting deer with straight well cartridges
gets
over
hurt.
300 yards already.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was
that's what-
kind of getting at. Is
out. It's gonna come out.
like
It's gonna come out
people
hard.
can already poke out to these
Thank you.
distances.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even with a 350 Legend, which I think is probably one of the most popular ones, maybe not now that the 360 was it Buckhammer?
Yeah, Buckhammer and the 400 Legend kind of
Well,
maybe
tomato,
came out.
tomato,
Yeah,
right?
Same.
Like you can just angle that up and it's gonna cruise for a long time.
Yeah.
It still doesn't matter, and it's a it's
Well, I had
different.
to think long and hard to come up with something.
Yeah,
I got to come
50
up today that
Beowulf.
wasn't deer.
50
You're
Beowulf.
ready for a
Okay.
little relief.
What's
maybe.
the effective range of
450.
that?
So
I'm gonna bring up
They're
another
horrible.
controversial subject.
yeah, like you're
Not
Oh,
so
is it
much
'cause it's
to
just
me,
a
maybe
heavy
it's
you-
heavy.
round.
Yeah,
But
250
educate
plus.
Yeah, it's
We're
300
gonna
grains
be
of shit.
asking In the next go round of bear regulations.
Talking bear regs.
300. Is this Thorman? It is.
This is Wilfred.
It's Thorman.
Meeting the first of July for bears. And there's reasons for that. We keep slipping into the haves versus the have-not. And I like to deal in reality. The people that got
Thank
private
you.
land that want to shoot a bear, I'll guarantee you, they got ate out right now already.
Yeah, I appreciate you talking every month and bringing a perspective to it.
And we know that if we can debate, we can hold bears on public ground. You can do it.
and discuss.
They'll stay on public ground.
love to talk with
There's bears on public ground the first 2 weeks. Now, we've taken Shannon 3 times.
Feel free to send me a text
If you take her the first week,
and we
or even the second week, we can find her a track. The third time, that's the only time she could get there, it was the third week. I had to assemble an army of 15 trucks. Riding around.
Thank you very much.
Before daylight, till
Yeah.
10 in the
We'd
morning.
love.
Kinda
I'd love to.
Is it good?
Yeah.
One bear
Do you like
track,
sport?
100 square miles.
Yeah.
It's better than
Why
sport.
is that?
And
Well,
it's
the bears will stay with their pet.
like a
And we know
call.
we can hold them.
in your comfort,
But
your spot, and
If you're being honest, and you're being a good sportsman, following the rules,
need to be.
those bears, they just gotta run a couple miles across the road with some private land that
Right. Thank you.
aren't able to go in and say anything about that, or they'll be in trouble. And we just
pretty
want
good,
to level
actually.
that playing ground, let us start feeding them.
I think B would come on the podcast.
I think they
That's
both.
5
They're
weeks
friends. They could probably have both of them on at the same time.
Absolutely.
before
Oh, I don't know. They might jump
to do it
Skeeter.
right now. Now,
Not online.
I'll be on there.
the
I'll be on there with you.
argument from the
Adam won't have to
department
do it with
is,
you.
well,
Yeah.
That's gonna create, problems with bears.
Speaking of Adam, when is he going to finally come to one of these
shooting
meetings
wolves
and
killing
be on the
dogs
live?
in the UP.
Well, we're gonna make him
wolves
come
will
next
eat the
next
same
month.
bait.
Next month he's
So
gonna
the
be-
earn a buck
that's
thing would be good for him, and he hunts these.
And they'll have their pup, and they'll
Yeah,
take over
because
that
it'd be
area.
nice to have him
And
here and not just
they will
screaming at us through
Make sure
text.
that
Do
if
this,
any
do
dogs
that.
come around there, they're gonna eat them.
He can help
Have
us
you ever
out.
seen what
Yeah.
they do to a dog?
We'll let him set everything
They
up. Be like,
get
here
a
you go.
dog
Yeah,
out here in the
absolutely.
So-
parking lot before you can get
I-
there, it's eaten. It's terrible.
Thorman has a
It's
very
terrible.
specific
But we
agenda,
can avoid
like most of the time.
have the
With the, he's the
We are,
him and his
starting
brother, I
launching,
believe, are the. Is this
legislation
Mike Thorman
to allow
or is
us to
this
use
I
bear.
think it's Mike.
We had them before, got them taken away, had them before, got them
Checking,
taken
checking.
away.
He's talked about
We're
quite a bit of
talking
stuff,
about
and he
steel
definitely has
barrel,
like.
It is Mike
tell-
Thurman.
on top,
So
3
he
1-8
is
bolts.
he
And
is
if
the
you wanted to
Michigan
make it-
Hunting
if
or
you're
Dog
gonna bait
Hunting
early,
Federation
You gotta
Yes.
use the steel
Um,
barrel.
or Michigan Hunting
And you
Dog
can only bait
Federation.
with corn,
That's
because
his
the
thing,
department's
and
other
he's
issue. You
done
don't
a
wanna
lot
habituate
for
them to human
his
food.
sport.
Well,
But
corn
I
isn't a
do
human
believe
food.
it has been
And
at
those
an
bears
expense
will
of
lay
some
there
other
and roll
sportsmen
that barrel
in
back and
cases.
forth
Yeah,
just
he's
all
very
day
like
long.
his
You can have
way.
one camera
Like
watching
they
you do
want
it.
it to be the one way. He wants
8 or 10
to still have
curls
bear
will
hunting
roll
with
out, and
dogs,
they're just
correct?
happy
For
in the
sure.
plan. And they'll
And
do
then
that all
he
day
cares
long.
more about that.
So,
The
if you
dog
did it
guys
in
and the
that
bait
manner,
guys kind of
with the barrel,
bump into
you
each other just a
eliminate
little bit.
the wolves.
Yeah.
Some changes have happened
conflict.
for that because they, well, the first few meetings I
Just
came
in
to
case
this
you
year,
don't
they
know,
talked
you might
about
not know.
Season
season
Here in
days
Michigan,
for
I've
that
been
to give
on the
these
Wolf
guys
Advisory
in
Committee
high
since
preference
08.
point areas a
And
better opportunity.
The first
So they
thing
are
I did
definitely
said, we
aware
don't
with
wanna
that,
get paid if our
colliding
dog
with
gets
other
killed by a
stuff.
wolf.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty good
Very-
Wisconsin, they pay it. Oh my
Because we're
goodness.
behind.
Yeah, we're behind
So-
about 5 minutes.
Wisconsin, they pay you. We'd rather have you go in and get that pack of wolves. Because if there's 150 some packs of wolves, which roughly that's what they think there are, there's only 8 or 10 that kill dogs or livestock. So you take care of those, and that's worked really well when we could do it.
I know. Gotta get
Okay,
them. I was gonna say
real quick.
I said do it because I
There's
got some money
problems
for
with some of
food
the
plot
stuff
seed I
you're
can
doing,
send
the
you.
department's doing with technology.
That seed money.
Got that seed money,
dog.
some of
Very
the-
large Amish community. They are big time hunters.
Just
They
slinging
can't buy a
seed.
gun in Michigan. It's illegal for an Amishman to buy a gun because he doesn't have a photo
I
ID.
love that shirt, man.
And they
Skeeter's
sure
rocking
don't
it.
have cell phones.
Oh,
And if we go to,
looks good on you too.
and we may have to do a couple
Colors.
cuts or whatever, but just let's not leave
I got mine on.
that
In case anyone was
proportion of our
wondering.
society.
I just had to rep
out
this because y'all
in the
made fun of me
cold,
last
not being
time.
able-
You're not
because they
wearing
hunt.
any.
That wearing
Very
white. I know. I like that hat. That whitewater hat.
Time,
It's
please.
sporty.
I made
Yeah,
it.
the only problem is I have a fat head.
Any
I know.
questions?
Yeah.
The beefcakes have hat issues.
Well,
We have
I
had
must have
issues.
done a really good
He
job.
does.
I found some hats that would probably work for
Hey,
us, but
have
they're
a nice day
a
and
blank
thank you.
is $50.
Jim
So
A
Meyer.
lot
do a
of
little more-
fabric.
Yeah, a lot of
a
fabric.
lot of fabric. Yeah, because this one I got it on the second to last notch, and I really
That's how I
feel,
rock hats too. About there.
I really feel like I need to be at the very last
Yes, good
notch. But anytime I
afternoon.
try it, just
Yep.
The reason I'm here today is to try to bring forward to you
yeah.
guys
Other than that, it's nice.
what
Hat. Just
a
not
one
fat head
buck
graded.
rule will do to
Who
the sporting
am I
goods
to?
small
One buck
retailers in the
rule.
state of Michigan. We survived. I've been there for 34 years. We survived when vertical bows went to crossbows.
We don't have ours yet either.
When people bought vertical bows, they came and they bought sights, they bought releases, they bought things on a yearly basis plus new bows. Crossbows came along, wiped that right out. Basically, now you have a crossbow, we see you every 3 to 5 years for a set of string and
This
cable.
is Jim Myers talking about
and maybe for a pack of
deregulation.
broadheads and bolts. And then
Yeah,
years go
somebody
on,
said something
we'll
about
wipe out the
crossbows.
muzzleloading
I was
season.
talking about broadheads.
Go to modified firearms.
Wiping out
in southern
muzzleloading
Michigan.
season.
Well, that muzzleloading
Boy, he's
season, we
just data
counted on that
dumping
as
right
our
now.
third opening day. We had
Just wants to keep the
archery,
traditions
firearms,
of
and muzzleloading.
what method to take.
We lost.
Which I'm okay with
hundreds of
pushback
pounds
for
of
that.
powder,
We
primes,
need some
That's fine.
pushback.
bullets, guns, cleaning supplies, everything that you would need for that for a third season, which we kind of needed to have to survive.
Oh, he's got like a pro shop
that
or
is
something,
gone.
so he was
Now,
selling
if we go to
goods.
one
Okay,
buck,
Mm,
that's a good point.
What's going to
Muzzleloader is you need
We are
powder.
going
It goes
to go
bad. It's
to
definitely something you got to buy every
a
year.
program where people are going to take their vacation, they're going to have to choose. Either it's going to be archery. or
yeah,
it's
it's
going
good.
to be
It's a low
firearms.
barrier to
That would
entry
be
too.
both.
Yeah, cheaper guns
Because
typically. Yeah.
They may not have a
Typically
tag for
cheaper
either one.
guns.
Felons
now,
can still
once we
use them,
prove
or
it,
no? Right? What
I
was
think,
it?
I think they can use
Buy a lot
felons.
Yeah.
of archery.
I'm not
Or if
100%.
they go out
Well,
the
that's a
first part of
Skeeter
archery
question,
season,
but I'm
Am I
pretty
a
sure
felon?
they can.
deer,
If I'm a
they
felon,
won't
what can
come
I
back to
do?
buy
Yeah,
firearms.
if I'm a felon,
So now you're
that's a
putting
good
us
segment.
between a rock and a hard place because now we potentially could lose 50% of our business. Nobody can survive on a 50% loss.
Dude, it is humid
Earn a
in
buck
here today.
Mhm.
will help.
Holy
It's now going to
smoke.
give them an opportunity to get another buck, so they will hunt both
My
seasons.
sore throat's killing me.
But also, I
am I out of
believe
liquids?
instead of this 3-day
I might
extended
have to do
firearm
Stockholm
season
Skeeter.
in
Skeeter
December,
comes back.
let's go back to a 7-day primitive muzzleloader season where they have to go.
I think
and
we should
come
just
and buy
do
things from the
a
retailer
week-long
so we can
primitive
survive
hunt.
to pay
Yeah, like
taxes to the
Pennsylvania
state
does,
of
like a
Michigan
flintlock
to help pay
season. That's
everybody's
kind of
bills.
cool.
Yeah, like, well, muzzleloader, flintlock.
Just my thoughts.
It needs to be-
Addle.
It needs to
Consider
be
it's
between
either earn a
the
buck for
December
both
deer hunt and the end of
entire
regular
southern
firearm.
Michigan, or
Yeah.
zone 3 versus zone 2.
I think.
You know, I know it's not fair to them
I would
guys
even
either,
throw
'cause
in,
we're all
like,
taxpayers,
track
we
bows
all
in
own
there.
land, we all
That'd be
hunt
cool.
on our land.
Spears.
Yeah,
Prove
use
what to do for deer hunting.
yeah, homemade
I wish there was an
Maybe.
easy way to
or whatever you
deal
can
with
something.
It, but
I don't know.
it's
That'd be a
not between
lot.
rock
But
and a hard place.
Well, just
I'm
traditional
sitting between
hunting,
a rock and a hard
you know.
place, too,
Muzzleloader,
because of
no
the things that
scope.
go on.
like they do in
So
Colorado
just
for
consider
elk,
that, you know,
Gotta use
earn
like
buck
a
that would help.
iron sights or something. So you
Let's
could do
just
like a
go back to
muzzleloader
this and
season with no
put it
scope,
off
and then you
for
got your
3 years and
trad
come back to it and get
equipment.
findings and studies
That'd be
and,
kinda
and
neat.
things. You know, we've done this electronic stuff for 3 years now consistently,
Oh, he's talking
and
about
we should have
electronics.
enough information to say, hey, this county shoots this many bucks, this county shoots this
We
many
do
bucks.
have that.
They're only shooting this
What?
many does.
Talking about how many bucks and does are shot.
Give that county an incentive. Cut your dope permits back in price in Saginaw County.
That's the whole
$10
DMU reason.
instead of that to try and get people to shoot more deer. You know, when you at the end of the day, when you look at it, that spike horn is still 30% bigger than most of the does that are left walking around. So if you're looking at value for your life,
Debatable.
you're going to take that antler deer over that non-antler deer. So you
I'd
have
be
to
very
end
curious to know
processing places
the
charge the same process. whether it's
average
100
age
years
of a
ago.
doe in Michigan right now.
There's no break.
I know the
Whether it
UP
was
it's
80
really,
pounds,
really
it was
high, and that's
180
part of their
pounds.
problem. I
There's
don't
no
know.
break.
5, 6.
I think I heard
So,
like
let's
7.
just try and get this figured out. so
real
we can
high.
get in
Like-
So
line
they're
with
making
this-
a full life cycle.
In
Get
that
our numbers down,
watershed
get our buck
migration
numbers up.
area they're talking about, they
Get
are
things
like
back in order.
super high age class of does. That's why the doe, the bow was pushed to like
Michelle,
have a couple people shoot some does
Mhm.
and get those older does out of there to let, because they will like guard the wintering complexes. Rochelle's here.
Yay.
hello again, Commissioners.
She'll probably talk about some
Chairman,
doe DMU stuff.
Shannon, nice to see you guys.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hope so.
Just I want to say thank you, all of you, for your time and attention given. No matter the outcome, whether we agree, there have been thousands of emails and hundreds of phone calls, and that is no small feat to manage. Commissioner Hewins, you already came forward with the first step of many to address what my comments will be today, and I give my full support moving forward with that. But I still did want to say a few things about some of the act and the explanation given to me and to others as to why they were done that way. The biggest grievance is the combination of multiple changes into one vote in order to garner more votes on an item that was less than desired. This is 100% pure politics and does not belong in the decision-making process to protect and manage our natural resources. I personally cannot remember a voting meeting in which totally different amendments were combined like that,
It's
at
back.
least not for the
Skeets back.
regulations. Amendments have been brought forth with item X and change number Y.
Good. How are you, sir?
And that is exactly how the order of procedure
It is.
should be done. Each item should be voted on separately, stand on its own merit, and be passed or failed by the rest of the commission. I was told that was how legislation was done, and it was a normal practice. Be that as it may for the legislature, which is a whole other issue, this commission is not the legislature. The NRC was delegated the authority it has under Prop G in order to protect decisions about natural resources from the quote-unquote normal legislative process. To defend or justify in any way, try to normalize the behavior flies in the face of Proposal G and we the people, let alone the trust, the trust with hunters. Your duty is to the resource, whether it is deer, bird, fish, land, or water, to protect it just like you did the dams and the land that went with them, and to support sound scientific management decisions that are defensible with data, not just pleas for opportunity and tradition. It is not justification to continue to do something just because we have been doing it for a while. A tree does not stay small forever. A forest changes over the years, and so should regulations. To quote one of the great founders of American conservation, Aldo Leopold, ethical behavior is doing the right thing when no one else is watching, even when doing the wrong thing is legal. If there must be policy made to make the wrong thing not an option, then make the policy change, so that what happened cannot happen again. And as for the comparison to so-called trophy fishing and deer brought up by Commissioner Eister, no one needs to go out of state for great fishing like they do for great deer hunting. Michigan is well known as one of the best fisheries in the nation. There are a lot of rules, size limits, bag limits, and method of take restrictions that have made Michigan a destination.
That did get some traction, right? Comparing.
Yeah.
Comparing
Oh,
that.
Eister knew he was going to take some lumps today.
Oh, yeah.
Saginaw Bay is a great example of being managed for quantity over quality. And the size of those fish is limited not by the habitat or the climate, nor because Michigan is not capable of growing larger, more desirable walleye. Maybe we could learn a thing or two from the fish. Thank you all.
I always like her and her husband. They're very direct, and they,
Yeah.
you know, they do have their points, but they keep it.
Comments.
You know what I mean? They keep it good.
First up is Kevin.
And I've learned some great stuff from them. Too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they definitely have their opinions. And they definitely have their thing they agree on, but you can't deny the passion.
And I think that's what
Well,
we see
thank
here,
you.
right? We're
And
seeing
I want to
the.
thank the department.
I think we said it last time. We're
especially
seeing the
Eggman
Amazon
as
comments
well
of
as the
these
chief.
issues.
Yeah.
So you're getting the 1-star,
and
5-star,
I,
and
the Taken
there's
Representative
a
Ken
whole
Perez,
plethora of
previously
people in between that
Ken
just
Gordon
are not
with
being
us
heard.
on a tour to the Blackbird
Correct.
Ranch.
Correct. All right. What was this guy talking about? I've kind of missed it. Who we have here? Oh, this is 3 minutes. We don't
3
know their
minute.
names.
And we
Okay.
spent the whole morning together, and I know that you guys are familiar with Ken Borton's name.
Ken Borton's
And
name.
so that was a great experience for both of us. And so your staff should be applauded for that, for making those arrangements. And a new DNR truck, by the way, that we did not scratch. One of the, I just had 2 things, basically. The Ernebuck is going
Also,
to
he's
be
gonna talk about some
interesting,
deer eggs.
and we spent a lot of time talking about that.
I like that lunch
That morning.
bucket water bottle.
As you know, that when you drop the pin, when you first came out with that,
Yeah, man.
those pins got dropped.
You're a
on
truck driver too.
several
You've peed in
steps
that, haven't you?
many times, and people did not appreciate that. So
You need a
changed
whiz
the
chucker.
township. That was a good move.
Oh, this
Ernebuck
gentleman,
is
he
definitely
does.
gonna be a challenge,
I'm briefly
with
remembering him.
honesty, and resources.
He has like a pro shop or a taxidermy or something in northern Michigan.
Okay.
To hold people accountable for doing that. I don't agree with Ernebuck, but I'm just stating some of the facts that I think you're going to have some challenges with. The next thing, so when I go back to northern Michigan, and I'm well entrenched with northern Michigan, I'm in the hunting industry. I mean, there's familiar faces here that we talk.
He might have done a TV show or something. He's done something in that.
Okay. I wish I could see him a little better.
When are you
Like,
going to bring baiting
it-
back?
Yeah.
and
When are you going
we can't
to
do anything about
bring
the
a common
DNR's
sense
feed.
approach back to baiting, since 80% of the people up there that have taken surveys want it back. You talk about losing hunters. You know, I was on a conversation all the way down here with a fellow hunter that works for Wolverine Power. And he said that he doesn't, he doesn't plant the food plots that he used to. His kids, they're busy, and he's not hunting like he used to, and they've taken baiting away. And, you're not introducing a lot of new hunters to it. If these kids don't see deer, they don't want to do it anymore. So if you could bring back a, something similar to the UP and bring it down here, people are already doing it. I used to own 13 gas stations. I know all about how much bait we sell.
He's the guy that
And
owns
we make
Holiday,
good
right?
lighting
I think
citizens
something like
and
that. I
criminals.
think I can't remember exactly.
And another thing too is you can have licking branches out, and now that's how I survey my deer, is I have licking branches. And guess what? Those deer hit those licking branches.
I don't necessarily. The baiting thing is so difficult because the problem is I always go back to the people who are going to abuse it.
Hmm.
Just like drones, just like all these other issues we
Part
have.
of your budget issue
Thermals,
has
you
to do
can
with
thermal
recreational
drones,
feeding
you
and
know,
baiting,
and regular drones can be
from
abused,
the person that I
and
know.
people will
That's why
abuse
he's
baiting.
in
I mean,
office.
look at Ohio. Guys
And,
complain about
so
that.
Let's work on the
consistently.
baiting. And
Absolutely.
just wanna
I
know,
think
where
that if
are
we're
we
going to,
at with the
I
baiting
mean, it's one thing to have regulated baiting. It's
I don't know
another
if
thing to
anybody can
have
answer
banned
that. I
baiting.
mean, 'cause that's what I get.
And if we look at it
I
from a
intended to
proposal
bring
G
it up during
standpoint,
my report,
and
but-
we
Oh,
stopped
but
baiting
essentially I'll do
because
She's
it now,
responding
since
to her.
People are here and you're asking questions. We had asked the department to do a updated deer management plan, do the deer program review, but also do a deer management plan update and also include disease management. As you know, that disease plan is outdated. There's been a lot of research, there's been a lot of update.
Okay.
So we would like to get that information as part of it. I know that department has also been talking to researchers on this, and they plan to bring some
Seattle.
information forward. But I would imagine we're probably going to be looking at next season before we tackle it.
Okay, so she's
Well,
bringing
that's good.
attention that they actually
Thank
are
you.
thinking about changing it, which whew,
All right.
I mean, they have to. They have to address it. It's been long enough. That was the baiting. This is David, right? Or Dave?
You got my sheet, man.
That's 3 minutes. Dave Bryce, I think. No, not Dave Bryce.
Men and women of
Dan
the
Ofick.
Individual Council of Carpenters.
there's nobody on the sheet at this point. It
what's
just
wrong
says
today?
3
Yeah.
minutes.
Just 3 minute people.
Could find a parking spot out there, huh? The passion, the commitment, the people taking off.
Okay, I want to say something about him.
Let's do it.
Now that I know who this guy is
Yep.
on Facebook, hilarious. Like he is no filter. He will just attack people. It's like funny to know who he is now and see that guy. And he's always funny on this. I don't know if I agree with everything he says completely, but he's definitely not shy about getting up there and speaking his
Well,
mind.
Yeah, he said he wants to come on.
Oh, well, perfect.
That was spectacular to see. But the problem becomes, is it enough?
Skeeter, turn that no disturb on, dude.
I don't know where to do it.
I talked to you a couple months ago. You told me
You're
you
in
were
the top
very
right.
clear that hunters want change. Is it enough? Does it cover our stated goals? Can we do more? We all fear, a lot of the hunters fear, of 2027, making this one buck rule in 2027. A lot can happen in that year. We've talked about the changes, the new governor, the new DNR director,
Like
multiple
this
new
guy, he came up to me.
commissioners.
He's like, "What should I talk about?"
We're scared to death that it isn't going to make it that far.
Adam says you guys should get in there and do 3 minutes.
2026, you gave the objective.
That's where the value is.
People bought combo tags already, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that deer regulations have changed midstream. I know at least once, not multiple times.
I don't know what to say, Ray.
But it's too late now. Social media is blowing up over and influencers with large
Adam, this guy's
followings.
already saying everything we want him to say.
We have a podcast
We
right now.
talked. Tony talked to him before and gave him some
But-
cheat sheets.
We have a
Social media has
podcast
been
in the hall
blowing
right
up
now.
criticism, And most of it's been focused on comments by a couple of commissioners that weren't very well thought out. And frankly, they reflect poorly on the entire commission.
Skeet, you got another one of them
We
business
look at the
cards.
big picture.
Oh yeah.
We're not interested in rambling personal anecdotes.
He only had one on him for him,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
I
tore
want
to
you to,
shreds.
and allowing
Like,
exceptions to the UP
I'll get you
is
one.
out of control. I mean, why were you allowed
Oop, I hit a button.
How'd you do that?
exceptions?
Oh, I can just hit the
Space bar.
space bar?
Yeah.
You
You're
didn't know
opening
that?
up a Pandora's box.
You
Now,
amaze me
there's
sometimes.
legislation
I just figured it out too with my
I'll never
business
forget.
card. So
Well, in the state
I'll never
law,
forget.
For a 10-person commission, 10 people, who's gonna, this is gonna
We'll see
decide
next
who
month.
set up a much better number. A 10-person commission for NRC and the UP only. I mean, you've opened up a Pandora's box. Commissioner Fewens, thank you for that white paper. Hopefully, the white paper and the guidelines that will follow will address some of these issues. We've made some progress. Thank you for that. Any questions? I didn't think so.
I didn't think so.
All right.
Bob, you're up.
Golly.
Morning, Commissioner, Director.
Vistaprint gets free business cards too.
Nor the
That's how I
last
did my
few
work ones.
regulation cycles.
Those were actually the ones that I
quite a few of them now.
are from Vistaprint.
Oh, okay.
My eyes really been opened up.
But if you do them color
when I
and
was
two-sided
last
and
month.
500 of them, they're not free.
You're right.
Brought that
You're
up
right.
this past spring. Excuse me, and I brought it up last fall, and I've been starting to be more vocal about it, this regulation cycle. So I want to thank the commission for.
We did get a shout out by that guy though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Having a serious look at it.
Is this the dude you want to talk to?
I think it's extremely
Oh,
important.
that's a
Oh.
different guy.
to have
You know the guy that
wildlife
just did his 3
conservation
minutes?
order
That's the
and
guy I was
all the
talking to
amendments
while you guys were
Dan.
in
at
place
the
for
beginning.
us to
Yeah, he's
have
the guy that
a-
walked by. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came
I just
back.
want to make a comment.
What?
I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So it makes me feel good that you are surprised at things I don't know because I'm human.
Like comment on it.
Sure.
Superhuman.
Yeah, super human.
We all know when we come in here this past month in May.
My favorite
I
part.
tried to be
our
serious
public
longer, but I
comment
couldn't.
is meaningless. The decisions are already made up.
Is that why you stood still?
Yeah, I was like trying to be serious.
I wondered what you were doing because whenever you sit straight up, I know something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what's it gonna be?
After all the amendments are made prior to the vote. The other thing that I would really like to see added to that, and I asked for this back in March. You guys get the wildlife conservation order. We sit down and listen to a presentation from Chad and Brent. They go over the science, the biology, the reasons behind it, the likely outcome. If you guys are going to make an amendment to the WCO, I would really expect that you guys, if you're going to change something different than what our trained experts, guys that have spent decades in the field, in their profession doing, that you would offer up your interpretation of the science and reason for that change, what you might think the likely outcome of that change would be, and what kind of impacts it would have.
And I think that's where I was going with the whole baiting thing,
That's
was like the
least-
proposal G,
Yes.
and where's the science that says that if if we're going to ban baiting or bring baiting back, like let's look at some data and say it does or does not spread disease. Nose to nose contact, we know, is a thing that all deer do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I'm a Farm Bureau's guy, but I just thought of a note of someone we need to have on.
We can ask him, you guys.
Yeah, wears a suit
if we
with a
want-
big beard and glasses.
I
from
know
you
him.
guys
We need to have him
that,
on a podcast
we're
because
all
he's
on
with the
the same
Farmers
team.
Bureau guy.
You know, we're all
Yeah,
part of
he-
that
he actually was
three-legged
MUCC.
stool.
Yes.
And we
Yep,
gotta have
yep.
some trust between us.
Justin.
Justin,
And I'm
yeah.
not
Want me to
saying
text
that the
him right now?
amendments are wrong,
Well, we'll just have to
they
get him
lack
on in the
science or
future.
lack merit, any of them. But there's no
He's also a
explanation
barbecue
given
dude.
to any of them. And the fact that I had to come in
Right.
here,
See it.
Likes
or
barbecuing.
drive up to Gaylord a day early, even to find out what those amendments were.
So we
I
need
went
to
up
do like a
early
hot
on
one segment with
Tuesday
him,
just
is
to
what
try
you're
to
saying?
catch somebody.
We can do a
that
hot
could
take.
Fill me in on what the amendments,
Skeeter's hot
the
take.
new amendments that were on the agenda that we had no idea what to comment, how they were going to play out. And I commend you guys for making an effort to fix that process. Thank you.
Agreed. I think what I heard this morning
Dave, take 'em.
with them being serious about doing something different, I think that's a step in the right direction. If it happens, that's another thing. But we know someone on the board really wants to do it.
Commissioners, Director.
I think we should do a podcast when we're up north. I'll bring my smoker and we can do two people kind of do an interview around the smoker, and it can be
And I
like
love hearing the discussion on the
something about the
coming from the business
meat
world,
surrounding a barbecue or
was,
something.
Mm-hmm.
The
something that we
beefcake
all
around a
have
barbecue.
to
Beefcake, meat treat.
Everything
Yeah.
has to be documented, measurable, and repeatable. And if we can move in that direction with this commission, I am.
I believe his
all for it
name is
every way.
Dan or something also, or
Um,
David, or
Something
He's
that
been
came
on
up
a few
that
of these.
I'm very
Yeah.
interested in is, I shot a turkey here this year, and when I went to report it, there was granularity in the weapon. Yet we asked firearm, crossbow, recurve bow, longbow, compound bow. There was tremendous granularity in that reporting. On the deer side, I don't see consistency in that same
correct.
question.
Sometimes you're asked, and sometimes
Some
you're not.
years it seems that they ask that question, and other years we don't.
Well, for the deer
And
side, it might be
when we do
randomized
this regulation cycle,
because they don't
think
need
that
to
those
hear
are
from
the
everybody.
ones that are very
What the turkey hunter
Because
side
not
is so
only hunters,
small,
but
they need
commission.
more numbers, so it's
Because
mandatory that they ask
different
everyone
seasons
that.
with different
But
weapons.
for the deer, you only
the
need
impact
some.
of the
So it's
of the
random.
harvest, I
How
think,
hard is it
very, very
to
important for all
just
of
have all
us
that
to
file
know.
instantly?
To determine
Who cares if it's a
certain
million
weapons
people
or
respond or
certain
200,000?
seasons.
You know,
Well, it's the difference
are
between
having
filing
larger
10
impact on
files
weapons that are
and
available there.
10 million.
So
AI
just
can do
some
it for you,
granularity
baby.
and some consistency in that
That's
reporting,
fine,
I think, would be wonderful.
But
yeah, I
AI
agree.
still isn't quite
They,
there.
they
Last
use
thing I'd like to
statistics
address is shotgun
differently
hunting.
for the amount of people.
Yeah.
I'm involved with a number of bow hunting organizations and
Proud of you
3 or
for
4
shooting a
different
turkey, though.
sportsman clubs.
Good job.
Yeah.
And I have not gotten a lot of
I added to my
sportsmen
turkey total.
pushback on $1.
Yeah, no.
Most
Dude, I
of the
didn't.
people
I didn't even
I
go.
did
I
more
didn't
than
even go out
happy
once.
to take,
I sat there
a
sweating and
number of
shaking though the
those.
day
We know
those
what
3
the,
times were.
I bet.
I was like, oh, how
are
do
going to
you?
be. But there are a number of people.
But hey,
that are
I made a commitment to a young man.
Yep,
high-powered weapons.
That's all that matters.
I did too, and then I went back
Many
on
of
it. and
them
He's pissed at me.
were very happy
Yeah,
to hear.
there's
You're
a
not
difference.
getting it
There's a
done, I'm going.
difference. Yeah, there's a difference.
444 Marlin. These
But
sort
you
of
also lit a
weapons.
fire under his ass.
But
I
they all
did.
have
I
similar
told him he's got to want it,
restrictions
and
lines that are towards
he
the,
slept very little.
You want on, Merle?
straight cases that are out there today.
All right, get over here.
The issues
give you
are
2
when you
minutes.
start throwing 7 mags, 300 win.
Merle Jones is going to hop on.
With the MTPCA,
Yes. Hi, Merle.
How you doing?
Good. We're a few minutes behind on the live, but we're just discussing some stuff and
Okay.
kind of a lower key day, but I mean, I think a good day so far.
Yeah, it's been good, and I'm glad to see you guys here, even though it is a low key day. It's outstanding because I think it's important that people understand that it's not always a big deal. Some
Yeah.
days are, but even then, there was some pretty important stuff happening.
Very important
Absolutely.
stuff. I learned a lot of really good things so far today.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
yeah, Brandon put up some good points about some structure around some things and how coming on as a new commissioner, he was just kind of like, this is what we do, get in there and vote. And there was no like onboarding process. And
Right.
I think that's huge.
It is huge. It boggles my mind. I actually talked to Walters about that. God, a couple of years ago. It's in. He can tell you a story back during his first term a long time ago, because he had a term and then was interrupted and then came back. There was some rough form of it then, but even then it was not anything very substantial.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see that going on. What else? Anything that you guys saw that you thought was cool?
I wrote it down here. Michigan Wildlife Council. We kind of liked how they were putting some
We're pumped.
data into that.
Pumped,
We're
bro.
pumped to see that and
I
maybe
tell-
do
and-
more discussion around that.
You know what? I'll tell you what. You guys need to. The more you can share about that, the better. People do not understand how lucky we are to have that in the state. Most people don't even know we have it.
Correct.
Right. But it's a super powerful tool, and
We want to be part of it, Merle. Like, we're going to talk to Marcy. We want to be part of it.
right. Yeah.
Push it.
Yeah, and I'm there's no doubt that you can. I actually was I was at the caucus breakfast this morning, and Senator John Bumstead, who was he was one of the people instrumental in forming that here in the state, and he was talking about the very thing, and about how we need to we're going to try and promote that council in some way at that caucus breakfast more, because again, the legislators aren't necessarily aware of that information as well as they should be either.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. It's the job they're doing. Are you guys aware of the Nimrod Society?
He's a Nimrod. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Okay, well,
Hold on here.
might be.
Nimrod was a character in the Bible.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, it was a person in the Bible, and Nimrod was a hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true,
But
true.
so, look up the Nimrod Society, and you guys know who Russ Mason is, right?
Yep.
He's part of the Nimrod. He does work for the Nimrod Society.
Was that the gentleman that was just walking up and down the hallway here? Glasses and a mustache?
Shorter guy?
Yeah.
Had like a Hawaiian shirt
Yes,
on.
yes.
Yep.
Yep. I've seen him at most of
he
these
used
meetings.
he used to be in Sarah Thompson's role at
Okay.
the DNR. So PhD, smart
Yes.
guy, right? But so the Nimrod Society, they're basically it's an organization, and their main goal is to promote wildlife councils everywhere, not just in Michigan, but everywhere else. And they're actually right. I think Rockford, Sparta area is where they're based out of. But so it is. We've got some pretty outstanding. Oh, there he is, right down there.
Yep.
We got some pretty outstanding resources here in the state that people just aren't aware of, and that Wildlife Council is one of them. I've actually considered myself maybe applying for a seat on that council.
Okay.
It is vitally important.
Yeah,
what
good
that
stuff.
does. So, so awesome.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Thank you for stopping in. I know you said you had a couple minutes, but we
Yeah.
appreciate your episode
Yeah.
you did with Skeeter. That launched last week, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, you hopped on and did some really good stuff. You guys
Oh,
talked
there's
about
Jarsh.
coyotes.
Right,
Yeah,
that
I
was
paused it so
Okay.
we can listen to Jarsh.
Were you guys listening to the? I couldn't help it. I had to get up there and talk about ballistics. Did you catch that?
I don't know if we've got. Were you after Josh?
I was right after Josh.
Okay,
no,
yeah, we
we're
haven't
a few
done it
minutes
yet.
behind,
Okay, yeah,
so
'cause,
we'll listen to it.
Because the one gentleman was talking about the 30-06,
Yes.
and I had to, I couldn't
Good.
help it. I had to get up there and defend gravity.
Yes.
So,
We were out
we
here.
did too.
We were out here doing ballistic charts.
right.
Yes.
I was literally. I did that in there, and that's what I told him. I said, I just did the ballistics on it. It doesn't work
56
that
inches at 500 yards. It can't be done.
Yeah.
So, all right, awesome, guys.
Thank
Well,
you,
glad to
Merle.
see you here. And are you guys planning on doing this every month?
We're gonna try every month. One of us is gonna be here doing this. so
Outstanding.
just continue to put it out there. We understand that this is the beginning stages of it, and we're just gonna set aside time because we think it's important and bring
Yeah.
education to as many people as we can.
We're just kind of getting our flow and groove and understanding how this thing works and making sure that we're representing people who can't be here and letting them listen live if they need to.
Beautiful. Well, and I think too. I think your addition, the ability to maybe kind of help distill things a little bit or filter things to get the average person to understand.
what's going on.
What's going on, because we don't.
Right.
Correct.
Unless you come here and live it. So,
Right.
Yeah, you have to be and then having guys like you come quick do this brings clarity to a lot of things. Josh did it earlier. He started talking about the Wildlife Council. I was like, what is this? And he broke it down like very easy to digest. And hopefully a lot of people listen to that and they're going to do what I do when I get home.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out some more and
Me
make some
too.
phone calls or
Definitely.
some emails. So.
All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
thanks, Merle.
let me know what you guys need, and I'll if I don't talk to you before, I'll see you here next month.
Yeah, we'll
Awesome,
see you.
man.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, bro.
All right, let's see what Josh has got to say here.
Josh.
All right, we'll unpause it.
Just make a couple comments. I think as a public landowner, I try my best not to put the freedom
every time
of
you say it.
myself, the tool, over the management of the resource. I think that's important. I think that's how we all should be, whether it's public or private. But I think it's essentially important on our public lands. And I've said over and over again publicly to do what's best for the resource, right? If Chad or Brent or Shannon, any of these people came to me and said $1 wasn't the right thing to do, and here's the reasons why, I would take their word for it as the expert. The more data, the better. And I think that we need to really focus on that. And, the North American model states that scientific management is the proper means for wildlife management. And that's why I think that what Brandon is bringing forward and you guys are having discussions about are essentially important. I want to commend him for that. And I think, we're talking scientific management. We brought forth in May a amendment to do crossbows late season on the UP on the account of one person. Is that scientific management? Is that really what that means? So I just want to encourage, as you guys go through this, to put some real time into it. 17 pages, obviously, you have put some time into it. So thank you for that. But take your time. Get it right. Make sure it's perfect. We appreciate it. And be transparent about it. If you guys need some input, let us know. Have some conversations with us. But we really appreciate those two things, the resolution and, the policy updates. So I just wanted to commend you for that. Thank you.
Look at that. Josh is showing up, even though it's not a popular day, just like a couple other guys here. There's a lot of familiar faces. I love it.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're here to reiterate, too. Like, if you're not here to represent yourself, you're not represented, but we're trying to be here to represent you. So make sure you
there's some foreshadowing.
But and I'm not here to talk in support or in objection to any particular regulation, but I am here to support gravity. Basic science and physics.
Oh,
Merle. Honesty. The 450 Bushmaster, which was the caliber du jour for the restricted rifle zone, can travel about 1.5 miles if it's shot at a 45-degree angle. Just ran the ballistics on it on my phone. Of course, shooting that gun at a 45-degree angle would be illegal discharge.
Very close.
And unsportsmanlike conduct. A 50 caliber PMG, which is about one of the largest rifles you can buy, would be absolutely ridiculous to hunt deer with, but for the purpose of this explanation, the most powerful long-range rifle you can buy, if it's sighted in at 200 or 300 yards, either way I run the calculation, it doesn't matter. If it's sighted in at that range and shot parallel with gravity with the ground at a target at a whitetail deer height, just from ground level on flat ground, is going to hit the dirt somewhere around 700 yards. And it's done. So at the end of the day, the ballistics calculation states that this is a problem of personal responsibility. It's the hunter's responsibility. We all know that. We all learn that. And anything outside of that responsibility is illegal because you've not fulfilled your legal charge. There are laws in the state that apply to that. And that is what should dictate the answer to that solution. Again, I'm not here to argue it. That's already been settled. But the point of the matter is we have to make those decisions based upon actual real science. That's the simple version of it. If anybody wants anything more detailed, I'll be glad to provide it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can hop on here for a little bit.
Jump on.
commissioners?
Yep, you just sit right here.
Come sit right over here with us.
Includes public comments.
So that was public comment is done. Merle's last one.
That's a prerequisite.
Everybody's okay, we'll move right into.
So we are a little behind what was going on in there, but we can pause. We can quiet this down. That was the last public comment. All right.
How
Hold
are
on,
you,
hold on
sir?
1 second. All right, you're good. Who we have sitting next to me here?
I'm Dan Alfig. I come to a lot of these meetings, and just a couple comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of irrational thinking going on in there from some of the public commenters, but and some of it was regarding firearms.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, about the using all calibers in the Southern LP, which other states, and I know they don't talk about other states, but other states have done it. And usually now we're hunting from an elevated position where that bullet's going down.
Yep.
Yes.
For one thing. Second thing, Indiana's done it for a number of years, and it's worked out great. And there hasn't been any of this doom and gloom thing that people have talked about before.
Indiana, a very flat state. There's populated areas, very similar kind of to southern Michigan from a terrain standpoint.
But one of the unforeseen ramifications of this rule is, Ralph's Gun Shop, which is near me, muzzleloaders there go for $50 because muzzleloader season is no longer viable.
Right.
Yeah.
Slug guns go for next to nothing as well, and I've got a very nice, Savage 220 slug gun, and that's pretty much worthless in the state of
Yes.
Michigan now. And now 350s and 450s are pretty much going the same way of the dodo bird, I'm afraid. And, Randy's or people up north have made a big living off of that. And I would still continue to use my 350 because it's effective and it's small and I like it and it's compact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I will use my 350 too. I had this conversation with Nick Carpenter from Brenton, USA, and he owns a rifle company that sells 350s, 450s, and has, done pretty well with them. I have one. I'm going to continue to use it. I use it in zone 2 all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty effective round.
So how do you feel about the firearm line? You're okay with it because,
Yeah.
well, you said elevated position. Other states have done it. This scare tactic for it is kind of unwarranted, I feel like.
Yeah, it's panic mode. I mean, it's not called for. So that's some of the irrational thinking I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's not called for at all. And the doe harvest. I mean, there's a lot of the way I see Michigan's culture came about this not wanting to shoot does.
Yep.
It came from the 60s when we had a large preponderance of pheasant hunters and a large population of pheasants.
Yeah.
We had no deer in the southern low P. They were non-existent practically. So everyone was out pheasant hunters, and they only shot cocks and they only shot drakes with
Yep.
duck hunters. So it was taboo to shoot any females, and that transitioned over when deer hunting became popular in the southern lower, and it's been passed down from the boomer generation that it's gospel. You don't kill the ones that produce, and it's gotten way out of control. Our buck to doe ratio is terribly, terribly skewed. I mean, I had a bunch of VHD near me, near Jackson County, which wiped out a large percentage of deer to the point where I didn't want to shoot does last year. But what I noticed was gangs of fawns, orphan fawns. But what I also noticed is it was equal. So our buck to doe ratio is still whacked because as many bucks died as many does died. So it's still skewed. So we still got to harvest more does. And
That's a great point because I had the same issue in Kent County.
Yep.
I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't shoot anything, but like I saw still the same amount of does in relation to bucks because it doesn't discriminate. It kills EHD kills does and bucks.
Right.
Yeah. So now I'm going to go on doe patrol again this year. For the last few years on my property, we've killed 15 does every year. And I'm also, by the way, on the board of directors of Michigan Sportsman Against Hunter, which is an interesting
Awesome.
segue.
Awesome.
That's a great.
You have my card. We need to do a full podcast.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We need to do a full long form sit down. Yes.
I'd like to do that. And it's just a great cause. And most people don't know about it, man. I mean, it's a win-win. We have an overabundance of free-range organic protein in Michigan.
Yes.
And we have an overabundance of people that need free-range organic protein. And what a great look for sportsmen. It's a win-win that we provide this free-range organic protein to people of need. So I
took advantage of it last year. It was great. Drop your deer off and you're feeding people in the area that need,
all done.
done. Yep.
Easy
done.
peasy. Also, in the National Deer Association, which free membership, by the way, which I also belong to, and is a great organization with a lot of great research. But some of the research they did said that older does have a higher propensity of female fawns. So they're producing more does than they are bucks. So take those old nannies out of there.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more challenging in the woods. The highest challenge in the woods is killing a mature doe, especially when the pressure's on.
Yes.
She is the most wary. She will bust you in a heartbeat. Conversely, the dumbest deer in the woods is a 1.5-year-old buck, which I get. I got no idea why people are shooting those little bucks, but that's another story.
But no, that there has been a lot of studies that have. I know Wayne Sutton up in the TV area.
Yes.
They did all the necropsy. I think I said that correctly, where they would shoot does after season, and then they would test the fetuses and see. And there was stats for years that once a doe hit a certain age, like older age, the chance of it having a buck fawn was like 0. Like it was very, very low. So you want to get those older does off the landscape because you want to be dropping younger. You want to be dropping buck fawns, not doe fawns.
Exactly. But one of the reasons people use, gotta feed my family, that's why I killed that little dinker.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the point is, knucklehead, standing right next to it, that little dinker, that 130-pound dinker was a 150-pound mature nanny doe that would have fed your family a lot better. But John Wayne, don't shoot those.
Nope, don't shoot those. I know. It's just, well, like we talk about a lot. Like that's just the justification Michigan hunters have used for a long time. They justify their actions, and that's just been the low-hanging fruit. Easy to say. Oh, pat myself on the back. You know what? Good job. You shot your buck because you got to eat meat in the freezer. It's just it's the mindset shift, and that's why we are.
And I think that those guys, there's still those guys who want to have that pat on the back, and you throw the buck in the back of the truck, and you drive around, and you go to the bar, and and go, I'm Skeeter Beckman, and that's my buck out
show
there.
A picture, like
absolutely.
we had a gentleman do that earlier.
We did
show us all of his pictures of his buck.
And showed us inferior, non-mature animals that probably shouldn't have been taken out of the herd.
Correct.
Yeah. And the thing about this one buck rule is what has happened traditionally in Michigan, especially on public ground, where there's way too much pressure and it should be a much better experience, is first dink that comes along, Joe Hunter's going to whack that first dink, and now I'm going to hunt for the big one. And I'm going to sit in the woods a long time.
Yes.
I'm going to put a lot of pressure on the herd and, and possibly shoot a second buck so I can be tagged out. Well, the point is that second buck, even though there are X amount of small percent, was still 30-some thousand bucks that were killed. And that's 37,000 bucks that could be some young hunter's first buck.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would, you talk about the pressure on the state land or public ground in Michigan. If you're hunting a lot and guys are just out there hunting, it's going to move those deer into private parcels, which don't have as many hunters per square mile. So you're actually taking an opportunity away from yourself and others by putting that unneeded pressure on there. If all you're doing is just going in the woods to try to shoot your trophy buck or your big mature buck, it's like, hey, let's alleviate pressure, give opportunity to more people, spread the harvest out comparatively across the state, get those young guys shooting their deer and understanding like, hey, shoot bucks and does. Be super important.
Exactly.
Yeah, super important. I love it.
I'm well with it.
Yellow and blue.
Well with it. And people don't understand. They say, well, these does are my bait. They're what brings my big bucks in. Wrong. I mean, look at Drury's. Look at anybody along those lines. The more does I take out, the better my buck hunting gets.
They hammer deer at the end of the year. Like they have like family Christmas time. We're shooting does. Like they have doe parties. Like super important.
Agreed. And I'm glad that late doe season isn't coming around because a lot of shed bucks were there.
Yes, shed bucks. Yeah, I love it. No, so what did you think overall of the meeting today, or this first half before our break?
Well, it was a lot calmer than the last couple.
Yes,
I can say that.
Yeah, and public comments done a little sooner too.
Well, there's so much passion evoked in the last two meetings. I mean, it was coming out of their ears. I mean, you got guys taking off work. You got guys making a trip up north. You got guys spending money to stay overnight, all to voice their opinion. And it's frustrating to them when nothing happens.
Yeah.
So at least we've got some change this time.
Well, and I think, we've talked about it a couple of times, if people aren't here, even on meetings like today, which is one of the smaller meetings, their voice isn't being heard or not being represented if they're not here. So we want to represent them. And I know like some of our commissioners want to represent them, and we appreciate you getting up and doing a public comment. We really do.
Yeah, everyone.
And everybody who did one from one end of the spectrum to the other, the whole thing needs to be heard and vetted out, and based on science, hopefully our commissioners make decisions that are best for our population of animals.
Yeah, I thought the meeting today was really good because
They logged off. We lost them.
logged off. Oh man, we got some Christian music going
Yes,
now.
we
Let's
do.
see what this is all about.
We're good. When can I go?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
you're good.
Absolutely.
Thank you
so
so much.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, nice to see you. We'll do
Appreciate it.
one in the future with you.
Anytime. I'll be at these meetings all the time.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So is this break or is it done for the day? Oh,
Done for
we're
the day.
completely
So,
done.
so if you want to continue the podcast and the live, you're going to have to go to the NRC meeting of what's posted. And
Thank
because
you.
you were on the live and the live ended. Hey, we'll see you then.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
No, we're still live streaming on.
We are live streaming, but we're going to have to go share the screen of the actual NRC meeting if you want to, because now it's on replay. It's not live anymore.
It's not
they
live
stopped
anymore.
their live broadcast,
All
which stopped our screen share.
That's why we had "Goodness of God" playing. Not sure what that was. It's kind of an interesting worship thing that we were playing there for a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that kind of concludes. Rochelle, you want to come hop on? All right.
Come holler at us.
Come holler at us.
I think we got some good things lined up, some things coming. We've got the Attorneys for Animals who are going to do a podcast, hopefully with us. Mr. Mike Thorman, that gentleman that was just on just now.
Yeah.
I really would like to talk to him about the Sportsman Against Hunger.
Yes, that's what I
Like,
used last year. It was
yeah,
great.
absolutely need to talk to him.
All right. We have Rochelle hopping on.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How's it going?
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for being here once again and talking and using your voice. What do you think about today's meeting?
Oh, it was nice, short, sweet, and simple.
Yeah.
Shoot, we're out before lunchtime.
This is
so.
kind of like the first few meetings I went to back in the day. Like I get back in the day, it's been about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I think my first meeting was done about this time.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like kind of back to normal. Still a lot of hunters that got up and spoke. Those first couple meetings I went to was primarily anti-hunters talking. So it's still nice to see that we have some people representing, our way of doing things, which is great.
Yeah, I kind of said the same thing to my husband Elliot. I was like, I know it's going to be a slow meeting. I know it's going to be kind of a little more casual, but it's still worth showing up. And if you have something to say, it's still worth getting up there and saying something. Because you got to kind of stay involved, or else you're 2 steps behind by the time something actually gets proposed.
Yeah, and I think it's good to like what when I first started talking with Josh Arbogast, it was like, hey, we don't need everyone at every single meeting. We just need people there throughout the year.
Yep.
And I think that's really something we got to talk about more is like, okay, hey, we don't need 100 guys here, but if we could have 5 guys at every one and new faces and like show them that all those commissioners and everyone here understands like if we're 100, most of us got to take time off work to do this.
Absolutely.
Like that's not lost on anyone. So they're not expecting to see 250 people every single meeting, but it's good to know that we can have a group of people consistently come in here and, talking for 3 minutes and just kind of being as real as they can with, what's going on.
I'm not opposed to signing up for the 5-minute every single time that as Roam Outdoors, if we can get some comment coming to us so we can take just a consensus of the comments that are coming in, the thoughts, the feelings, and go, hey, I'm not here to represent my opinion. I'm going to tell you everybody's opinion that has been sending to us.
Yeah, it's we can voice that. So what, well, you kind of spoke on, you touched on some of the things from the last meeting. What was kind of your, I guess, when you took your time to speak, your 5 minutes, what was some of the points that you wanted to, get across to the commission?
Kind of calling them out a little bit on some of the things that were done. I hesitate to say wrong because, as Commissioner Fewens pointed out, there's currently no written down policy, which is something that we're all kind of discovering together. That over all of these years, I've been involved for a decade now. We've been told, well, this was how things were done. Well, it wasn't actually written down. It was just sort of grandfathered in and rolled forward. So it kind of goes back to having that that do what's right, even though what's wrong is legal. I made that comment in my speech about that.
Yeah, the quote from Leopold,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And kind of bringing that back to the forefront from what happened at the last meeting. You had things that weren't related all lumped together in a very political move in order to get more votes for things that some commissioners didn't want to support, but they wanted another thing to support. It's that horse trading that happens in politics that is not supposed to be happening here.
Yeah, that board's there to not have that. Or the commission's there to not have that.
Proposal G delegated that power to the NRC and to the DNR and away from the legislator to stop that behavior. Decades ago, and now we've kind of circled back to it, and it's like, no, we needed to not do this.
Yeah, and I think Brandon, he's kind of swung by a couple times and talked to us before the meeting too, and that dude went over and beyond, let's say, drafted a 17-page thing, like just going on. And he's got a lot of experience in consulting, and like he understands, like, if anyone can think back to the hydro dams a couple months ago, like that dude was all over it. Like he's invested, he's passionate. Like all those guys that sit up there and ladies, they are doing this not because it's like this glamorous thing. Is everything being done the way we would think it should be? No, but there's also a lot of passion there. So you got to have a little bit of hope and faith that at least one person on the board wants to go more. We know a couple other guys too. So that was I was happy to come here today just to hear that and be, show face for that. It was really, really good. I do have a couple questions for you because the Doe DMU thing was something that you had posted about online. You were part of the DMI and
DAT. Yep,
DAT, correct? Still on DAT.
Yep.
What are we looking ahead to maybe next month's meeting? Are they going to be bringing up some of that Doe DMU stuff?
So actually, it passed with the limits that the DNR put in the Waco in April.
Okay.
So the DNR did not recommend it to bring it forward. The NRC then picked it up and brought it forward.
Okay.
But they listed the numbers that they recommended starting out with.
Okay.
So you saw in the presentation the map that they
Yes.
put up on the screen. That is where the numbers are going to start.
Okay, that is the starting point, what we saw there.
Yeah,
okay.
and that will be effective this year.
That is going to be effective this year. Okay. So now that's really good to know because I wasn't really sure. I thought maybe it was kind of set, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I think, how do you feel about that starting point?
I was very vocal against some of the numbers, especially in the north and in the south west where EHD has really impacted.
Yeah.
We don't have any sort of grasp on how EHD impacted that area. We don't really have any sort of data or grasp on deer numbers in the north either, especially north central, northwest, lower peninsula. So that's what I was kind of advocating for, is I wanted the NRC to sort of tweak some of those numbers. The rest of them are kind of like, it's okay. We can do that. We know we've got a lot of deer here. 5 is fine. The statistic I really tried to hammer home is that 0.3% of hunters are taking 5 or more antlerless deer.
Yeah.
That includes the combo tags, but let's just generalize. That's less than 2,000 people across the entire state are taking 5 or more antlerless deer.
We are part of an elite
We're
bro.
We are elite killers.
I was like, I'm a 0.3%.
We are jacking that. We should get patches made
We
that
should.
say 3%.
We got room on the shirts.
3%.
Put a little asterisk, right there.
You could be a 1%er just by taking 3 or more does. So
I know.
After one doe, it drops off
Quick.
real quick.
Really?
Yeah, I think I remember Chad a couple years ago. He said 90% of the doe harvest is taken care of by like 7% of the hunters or something like that.
Unreal.
I thought maybe I could have those numbers off a little bit, but it was like, whoa, that's what it really opened my eyes. Like, what? Like, people are not like me. People don't
So
shoot
what's
does.
what's the hang up? Like generalized across the board, what's the hang up? Why are people not killing does?
To me, it feels like, and the responses I've gotten when I've talked to hunters, because I try and talk to hunters when I'm out and about, one of the things that we're supposed to do as DAT members is we're supposed to talk to the public, talk to hunters, get feedback, and bring that back to the deer team as well as, any of our other sort of involvement. And people are like, well, I hunt for my buck. I get a buck, and then I go back out and hunt, and I'm hunting for my second buck. And, I'm not opposed to taking a doe, but I either just run out of time, or I'm tired, or it gets too late in the season, or it gets cold. And there's a lot of different reasons why people aren't taking does. There's still some people who are just strictly opposed to taking does, but I think there's actually a pretty significant portion that it's just they run out of time, or they're hunting for a second buck.
Yeah.
Which was why I supported the OBR change, because that removed that element completely. It's like, all right, you get one buck. You can either take your doe early if you want 2 deer, or you can take your doe later, but you only get 1 buck.
Yep.
So your second deer has to be a doe.
Yep.
And statistically, we know that second buck's not being taken. So you're out there in the woods pursuing an animal and passing on the does, which we're hoping that you would take. So, yeah, it seems...
Yeah. It's not all about how many people actually take that second buck. It's how many people spend their time hunting that second buck. That is the key.
And not filling a doe tag in the process.
Correct.
With doe tag availability across the state. And that's one of the things that, like, I know I've had Elliot on before, and we've talked to him quite a few times, and you share the same sentiment as him. We have devalued the doe so much that I think that's why, like, guys just think it's just a doe. And, like, that's kind of some of the pushback that you guys have had with the crop damage tags. And, like, you guys have participated in doing that for years and have seen it firsthand how farmers are interacting with what they think about. It's like they're treating them like rats. And that's not a good way to manage resources, because I think that was one of the first questions I asked Ellie. I was like, do we need to manage the does in the state with more crop damage tags? He's like, that is not a good way to do it. And I was like, whoa, tell me why.
Yeah.
And can you maybe share in a couple of those reasons why you don't like that form of management?
The more I get involved with managing deer using crop damage permits, the less I actually like it, because they're free. The cost is 100% on the shoulders of the DNR. And then if a farmer, let's say they need to turn in the heads for CWD testing, if that farmer doesn't want to do it, or it's too inconvenient for them, or whatever the reasons are, the DNR will send somebody to go get those heads.
Oh, geez.
0 cost to them, but it's cost on us.
Costs.
We are now covering that cost for all of that effort being put into crop damage permits, versus using in-season tags, whether it's your regular deer tags or DMAP tags, which people don't really know that DMAP tags can be used for any landowner, as long as you kind of qualify for using DMAPs. You don't have to be a farmer to use DMAPs. You just have to have a deer management problem.
Okay.
So
interesting.
But at least that way they're getting some revenue to offset all of the costs.
Yeah,
to do that.
The crop damage permit tags is just bleeding the DNR. It's just a zero return from a financial standpoint.
And the other thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way is you got farmers who are like, oh, well, this is a hunter problem. The hunters aren't taking care of the deer problem. And then you turn around and you ask them, like, well, how many deer have you taken? Or how many does have you taken?
Yeah.
Well, my nephew took like 2 does off the farm this year. It's like, you got to up those numbers, buddy. That's not a DNR problem. That's a you problem.
That's your property problem. Yeah, that's there's people always talk about it like, you have a responsibility of being a property owner, and that's something that you and your husband have done too a lot. Like, man, like I never converting the farm to what you guys have now, like the amount of resources you put in, because you have that like holistic approach of like, hey, this is like a blessing to have this, but we also got to be stewards of the land, leave it better than we found it. That's something I like. I recently purchased property myself this year, and I've kind of already started thinking about that. Like, hey, there's more to it. And farmers, nothing like my family's full of farmers. Like that's their livelihood, and the deer take away from their livelihood by either feed the cows that are producing milk or the cash crops. But I understand that, but it's like, hey, you guys got to like, if you could somehow, and it's because the doe has no value. That's like, it comes down to that. If we could change that mindset of this and like, hey, you guys can, let some people come shoot does or let these things, there's so much more. This is just like the beginning of it. And it's not a good way to like, market hunting's kind of knock on the door a little bit when you start talking about it this way. And I don't know. Like I like whitetail deer. The thought of having to shoot deer in April is not like tasteful to me. No. But that's what's happening. That's like real world stuff is going on right now. Guys are out there shooting deer, and if it's 90 degrees out and you shoot deer, you can kind of 1 + 1 = 2 on that regard. Yeah. Where's that meat going? Where's all the things that we like doing it for the reasons we like it? It's hard to do that when it's July and 97 degrees outside.
Yeah, if you look at the normal hunting season for whitetails, I mean, we're talking. You have 12 weeks, so you're 12 weekends. So you have 12 weekends to get this done. You have 10 available doe tags, or did have 10 available doe tags. 2 of those weekends are going to get rained out. Maybe the first couple are going to be a little warm and you're not going to want to get it done. So we're talking about 5, 6, 7 weekends that you can actually take those deer out of the herd and you're going to hunt your buck. I get that. But man, you need to be averaging a deer a week. Like you need to be killing a deer every week.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too that I brought it up more so in the DAT was the idea people were kind of concerned about going down to 5, limiting hunters to 5. You still have access to all 10, but you would go to like another county to fill more.
Sure.
Yeah.
But one of the other things I keyed in on is that you can still take 10 off your property. It involves you getting another hunter involved. So
For sure.
we're worried about hunter recruitment, bringing in the next generation. Now it's not all on your shoulders or on my shoulders to take all 10. I can get my spouse involved. I could get a child involved, a niece, nephew, uncle, a friend, bring them out. You're generating this hunting community that we all feel we've lost. We've lost that deer camp feel. Well, now let's make it a doe camp. Bring more people out, get everybody involved, make it fun. Again, bringing value back to the doe. And we can do that by kind of involving everybody in the process. And I think that will be something that will come from this. You're lowering the limit, but now you're getting more people involved. And
And creating that little bit of that driving force, like, hey, we don't have all January now to do it. We don't have all gun season. Gun season shrunk a little bit in that December, for bucks. Because like, hey, if you're sitting there in December, like I've had a pretty slow year, you only got 3 days then to shoot a buck with a gun. If you want to go put meat in the freezer, then there's your opportunity to do it before Christmas or whatever. So I do like some of the changes they implemented.
Well, and that 1 week of week and a half that used to be the January hunt is now in December.
Yes.
So, the concern with button bucks and shed bucks kind of is a little less because now you've got that extra week earlier in December.
Yes.
Where you can go out and shoot does.
And which can be huge. Like, I mean, that's why guys who love shed hunt, it's like, it's on because the majority of the bucks dropped their antlers at a certain time.
Yep.
So I do like that. Yeah. So it's good. Now, kind of pivoting here a little bit, still on the same topic of doe harvest and those kind of things. Today at this meeting, they talked about the Earn a Bucks pilot program, and there was some things that we discussed while that was going on. Like, I think Chad was talking about 5 counties. I feel like that's a lot.
I do as well.
One of the commissioners didn't think it was as much, but like that seems like a good, especially if there's some of the counties I'm thinking of, which if we kind of discussed about the CWD areas back in the day where they did like the APR and those, like those are high deer numbers. And I like actually live in one of those counties of Kent County. There's a lot of deer in Kent County. So I feel like that's a really big area for them to like run a pilot program.
Yeah.
Like, so what are your thoughts on what we're going to probably hear for next month's meeting about that Earn a Buck thing?
My thoughts are is the bigger it's going to be, the harder it's going to be to manage. The harder it's going to be to detect non-compliance. And especially if they're leaning in the direction of anything technology-based, which is easy to manipulate in today's day and age. I mean, you got AI, you've got all kinds of other ways to sort of manipulate technology. The bigger the study area, the easier it is for hunters to find a way around it.
Yeah.
You're going to have one of 2 outcomes. People are either going to find a way around it, or if it is enforced like Wisconsin did, not knowing how many deer we have or how many deer we need to take from the landscape and does, which control your population lever. If people are taking too many does, it could cause harm. And something that our DNR and our NRC should not be doing is doing things that are going to cause harm.
Yeah.
We can do regulations like a 1 buck rule where it's kind of almost like asking people to do it and see how that goes first. Earn a Buck is like, here's this barrier you have to get by. It's not a carrot on a stick, it's a barrier.
Yeah.
And people are either going to try and go around that, or it could cause problems in and of itself. So I'm not a fan of the Earn a Buck.
Yeah.
The smaller the trial area, the better. Because if there are problems, it can be...
It's going to take a lot longer to rebound if it's a bad problem compared to like, it seems like there's like a slow, gradual, like I think one buck seems like it's like a kind of an organic way of making change. When you throw earn a buck, it's like it could all of a sudden just go poof. And then if baseline's here and we rock it past baseline, it's gonna take a whole lot longer to get back to baseline, if ever again. You know, I think that's kind of the earn a buck thing.
And even with the crop damage permits and stuff, you know, we've been hitting deer pretty hard in like a couple mile square on crop damage permits. And this year we're actually kind of struggling to see deer. So 2 years of taking 30 plus deer out of just this geographical area, and the farmers are reporting seeing less deer, their neighbors are reporting seeing less deer, and it's just us taking about 30 some deer out of this area, and it is dropping numbers. And there's no studies being done. No, you know, the biologists have not been out to this area to resurvey it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know that this is happening.
Yeah.
And so we, being more conscientious and kind of looking at the bigger picture, are kind of like stepping back, and we're like, all right, well, we need to reassess. Can this area now be managed through just hunting permits? And should we walk back the number of crop damage permits we are filling?
I guarantee there's more than 30 deer hunters in that area too. So
And, it compounds
if
really
all
fast.
those guys want to shoot a second buck, and instead of shooting 30, you're shooting 100, then you go, that's what I think your point you're trying to make is like, we're like a select few are doing a lot in the deer crop damage permit side of things. But if all of a sudden you add all the hunters in the area, that's like, oh, I don't usually shoot those, but now I really want that second buck tag, and they lay waste for 3 years, and they do that across these counties. Like, if this is the 5 counties I'm thinking of, there's a lot of hunters in those counties, and
Five
counties is a lot.
That's
is a lot.
But I think he was talking about 5 counties that are going to have it, and then there's going to be ones that don't have it. I think that's their control.
Also,
group and
5
your test.
total, but some will have it, some won't in that 5 county.
I'm thinking so. You know, just based on how I know they were wanting to structure it, they wanted to have control counties and test counties. So I'm hoping the 5 is that it's control and test.
Yeah.
We won't know more until next month.
Yeah,
And
which I'm looking forward to hearing what's going on next.
Kind of dissected a little bit as to what he said, and it sounded to me it was 5 counties, but would have an adjacent county that didn't have it. So there'll be 5 that do and 5 that don't that are next to each other.
You're thinking that, so there'd be 10
Like,
total?
Yeah, not that the test counties need to be touching each other, but the control needed to touch it.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
wherever those are.
Yeah, I know. That could be.
Yeah, so now you multiply that problem by a lot, because if you've got people like yourself who's managing their property the way that they are, good for you to be able to step back and go, okay, now we're seeing something, even though there's not a study or a survey done. You're actually physically on the landscape, so you can see the things that are happening. You got guys like us who are in the 0.3 percenters. We convert one person a year to be in the 0.3%.
Yeah.
So if you get everybody to do that, now you can multiply that problem, and we could be in trouble. We could wipe out a county.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
think,
Oh, yeah.
you think about it, it only takes 4 hunters to equal 20 tags or 20 does taken
Right.
out of an area. And most hunting properties are hunted by families. You know, they're deer, hunting properties where they're at least, husband, wife, and kids. You've got 4 hunters. Boom, just like that. And
Yeah.
if they all take 5, well, now you've taken 20 out of like an 80-acre parcel.
Right.
You can literally depopulate a single property by expecting that kind of harvest.
Yeah, that's we're not looking for that. We're
It
looking
happens
for,
fast.
It does. We're trying to just alleviate it organically and then like sustained. So
Yes.
if earn a buck is like your answer for like year 1, 2, 3, it works great. We pull earn a buck off, and then those down numbers shoot right back up. Like, what do you like this pendulum thing? Like, what a nightmare that is, and it costs. Where if you could just slowly have the change happen. I mean, look, and people say, oh, change doesn't happen that way. Do fast forward or look back 10 years ago to the kind of bucks that were being shot and the kind of hunting we had in Michigan to where we're at now. Ooh, there's been a lot of change.
Yeah.
For the better.
Yeah.
for the better. Like, I think we have done better as hunters. I always say, like, we are the best resource from talking with each other and getting on the same page and doing these things from a management standpoint. It's like, it can happen. It just doesn't happen overnight. And earn a buck just sounds good because it's like, oh, quick.
Yep.
And I don't get to lose my buck tag. Like, let's do it, 'cause I shoot does already. So yeah, it's just like a hunter mindset, and all that stuff is interesting. So next month's meeting is going to be a good meeting to attend, I think. And, we'll definitely talk about a couple things. Anything else that you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
The whole idea of doing things that are long-term sustainable, that's something I've kind of advocated for. I want something that's going to work for the next 30 years, not the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Because something like earn a buck can happen rapidly. If it's done right, it can happen rapidly, and then you're pulling it back off again.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't we be trying to figure out something where we don't have to keep making these changes over and over and over again?
Yeah.
And if it's done wrong, like in the case with Virginia, they've had it for like 20 years, and they still can't manage their deer population because it's failing.
Yeah.
That is proof that it is failing in Virginia.
Yeah.
So we don't want that outcome either. So, something long-term, sustainable, gradual, give the resource time, give the hunters time, give everything time to adapt.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll get it all figured out. We'll be really close to like, hey, we're doing good. Then CWD will pop back up. So,
Yep.
Who knows what's going to
That's
happen?
it.
But no, thank you so much for all the stuff you've done and the awareness you've brought to a lot of things on social media and talking. And we definitely look forward to having more conversations, especially when it comes down to doe management. I think a lot of people don't understand this was birthed. One buck came out of the need to harvest more does and have our harvest rates be more balanced, and that was a driving force behind all of it, not just what the deer have on their heads.
Yeah,
Right.
Not box.
Yeah, the ladies control the narrative is what we got to talk in the deer world. I mean, literally, that's how you said it earlier. That is how you control population is through the does and the harvest. So
Yep.
Yeah.
huge. But thank you so much.
One buck
Yeah,
is kind
what
of
else you
like the balance. You're achieving the biological balance through the one buck.
Yes.
And then your gas and brake puddle are the additional doe tags.
Yeah.
Which I think I said it in one of my speeches before that that is how you control: are you reducing population, are you growing population? But your one buck, one doe sort of combination just creates balance in the deer herd.
Love it. What do you think? What do you think, Skeeter? I know you already like shooting does, but sign me up.
I love shooting does. If somebody comes up with like a deer camp Molly Flopper and wants to have like the doe's longest tail contest, I'm in.
You're in.
Like, I will chip in $20 to be put in the pool for the longest doe tail.
We
The
got some
spread
stuff
from nose to the forehead, those big nanny does.
Yep.
Old Josh standing over there. We've been talking about doing some doe stuff for this fall.
I love it.
West Side needs something. The West Side needs
Low doe video.
yes.
I'm rocking my Doe Patrol shirt.
There you
today.
go.
love it.
Love
Freezer
it.
Queens.
Yep.
Freezer Queens, love it.
I've actually only ever shot one buck in my life. The rest
Does
have been
he-
does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're doing Lord's
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Doing Lord's work.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
Does
it.
he want to hop on before we close it up, or Joshy Poo? You want to wrap it up? Give you 5 minutes.
Thank you
Rachel.
so much.
Oh yeah, he can. I've heard it many times. All right. I've been wanting to get her on podcast for a while, and finally got your voice on the podcast. I love it.
Thank you.
All right, 5
Tell
minutes
Elliot
hit
we
the
said
timer.
hi.
Yeah, 5 minutes
Kick me
ish.
out.
We don't have to. Tony
There's
wants to go
Brooke.
fishing, I think. So
He's trying to run.
You want to be on the
You're on
podcast
lunch?
today? I don't know.
anything you
DNR
want?
stuff.
I could say some things, but I'll just.
We'll do a long format.
Look, don't we look professional? Really?
Extra food? Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
like
once
food?
they come out, we'll go in there and smash it. Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. We'll go in there. All right, Josh, you're back. Thank you for another day. I liked your little 3-minute conversation you had there at the end.
Man, I don't even think I
Threw
made
it
it
in.
2 minutes. I was just straight to the
Straight
point.
to the point. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with
I'm here. Just, you know what I'm about?
that. Yep. Yep.
You know, I had nothing to say until, I think what Brandon was saying.
Yeah.
I really support that. And then it's just the same thing I've been saying over and over again. You know, I'm sure it was the same guy that was out here yelling at
Yes,
you
it
guys
was.
earlier. All right, you know, to get up there and just make those comments, I just really want to see everything based on scientific management.
Yep.
I appreciate you saying that.
And I just think that that's the way to move things forward. It's the way things always should have been.
Yep.
They weren't. So that's what
we're
we
moving
want.
for.
Yeah, and
What,
it's the right thing to do, right?
That's what the resource. It's the resource. It's the whitetail. It's not us individually.
And it's the same thing I said. Like if Chad would say, nope, that's wrong. If Brent would say, nope, that's wrong. Okay, well, what's right? Give me an explanation so I know. And then that's
we
what I
do
want.
our research.
Yeah.
Also, right? Like if
Yeah.
they bring something up, it's not like we just are just like following them off a bridge or anything like that. But we do. Like I know every time I've heard anyone in the DNR biologist, you always like, okay, let's do a little research and see what other people are doing. And
Yeah.
you do that. But like, yeah, exactly. Like if they're like, no, $1 detrimental to this. All right, is it APR then? Is it what? Let's get behind something that can make a positive impact.
Yeah, and I was just having a conversation with Russ about the CWD stuff. Like, what do you think about it? He, you know, because he is a believer that older age class deer definitely are more apt to get sick, which they're more apt to get sick with anything, right? But I'm just trying to learn.
Yeah, trying to learn, educate. What are one of the things I do want to ask to kind of lead up to next month's meeting? Is there anything we've obviously the Earn a Buck proposal? We're looking forward to that. Is there anything else that you're kind of looking forward to next month for that next meeting?
No, I was trying to get out of Chad what these 5 counties were, but he was holding that real tight to us. He did say that they're trying to find comparable, the most comparable counties.
Yeah.
That they can between percentage of public land versus private, hunter density, deer density, you know, all these different factors. They're trying to get close, you know, ag versus timber, trying to get as close as they can and be as accurate as they possibly could. So it's good to hear that they're doing the right thing. He did say the commission can look at those 5 counties and say, no, we're going somewhere else.
Correct.
He
They
said
do
just
have
like
the
Greg.
opportunity
So,
to do that, yeah.
So that what you got out of the conversation that you had with him, like it is 5 that they're selecting and basically 5 sister counties that will be the control, right? So 5 tests, 5 controls.
Which that's a lot of counties.
That's a lot. We keep saying that, man. Why more than 3?
And he said that, I think he said 5. He said they eliminated 5 right off the rip because they already had work going on there.
Oh, okay.
And he said, you know, all it's going to take is a EHD hit in one of those counties next year, and it's going to totally mess up the data.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which it just makes things tough. I think starting this year, we're already going to have messed up data because you're already looking at last year with 2 buck tags. Like, we know what's going to happen. It's going to be a bloodbath this year. You know, like, let's be honest. You seen it? These guys are coming in here. Oh, I got to get my call buck.
Gotta get my call, my mulligan buck shot.
Yeah. You call it a call buck. I call it a mulligan buck. Right? Yeah. There's a difference.
Well, I think that's kind of like the point I came from today is like next month, the thing we're going to kind of talk about is like this Earn a Buck proposal. They're not going to implement it though. They won't implement it until August or September. How'd that work? Like the DNR is going to propose it and are they going to vote on it then next month?
I'm not sure if they're going to vote on it next month or August. The presentation is next month, so it might be
vote on in August.
Yeah, I mean it's already passed, so I don't know if it's just I don't know how that will work.
It sounded like they needed a progress report with the counties identified for next month, and then there would be an approval needed by August. So it could be approved in July, but it has to be approved by August. That way they make that 6-month marker that they need to get everything prepared for March license sales.
Yeah, because it's not happening until 2027.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll have some clarity on that, hopefully in the next 2 meetings.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like Brandon's proposal or his recommendations for policy updates, like, why don't we know the answer to these questions right now? You know, I just sat through the whole meeting, and it's just, that one's not that big of a deal. I just would like to see complete transparency. I really want to understand what's going on here and how we move forward, right?
Yeah.
I just want to know what we're discussing.
Yeah.
So just makes it tough when we don't have that understanding. And it's not that we're trying to not understand.
We want to. We're thriving.
We're trying so hard.
We want more information. We want to know how this operates so we can move forward. Like it's like it's hard to explain. Like there's so many people that why do you think it's got so much traction on social media, all this negativity? Because people just don't know they want it. They like it causes like a reaction of some sort of either being super pissed or super for it. It's like because they just need to know what is going on. And we want this. The hunters in Michigan want to know more. They want to be more educated. There's a select few that think they already are educated, so we'll always have that, but the majority, there's a lot of people that want to know more.
There's a severe lack of education on where even how the system works. I mean, I watched hunters get up there today and they're begging for $1 not to get implemented. I'm like, it's done. It's a done deal. It's just we shouldn't move the rifle line. We already did.
It's done.
It's
like,
done.
It's happened.
You got what, 5 months? Geez, less than that. It's June. You got 4 months. And it's on.
It's on.
Well, it's on, but let's look at, these implementations are going to be for the ones we're talking about, like $1 rule is going to be for 2027. So what commissioners are we losing prior to that?
We should be losing, start at the end. Let's go. Nyberg.
Yep.
Gone.
Yep.
Walter's gone on the other side.
Yep.
And then you have Laporte and Eardley, who are a toss-up that I don't know if they're staying.
Yeah.
I think
we could have up to 4 new commissioners.
You could.
So we could have 4 new commissioners. You could, in the beginning of 2027, see a swing that goes, you know what, we're just going to keep it the way it was. And that's why I think it's important that we keep continuing to come to these things.
Correct. And again, it's important that they have these processes in place and these policies to cement these things. And that's, like I said, just get it right. Don't rush it. Just get it right, and be transparent about it. But we should be here. As sportsmen, I think we should almost know who's in that pool to be selected right now. Like who is sitting in that pool? Like,
who are options? I'm
not going to hammer on Mark Eister more than I have to right now, right? But Mark came in and made some very bad comments last meeting. This has been exhausted, so I'm not going to fry him right now. But he made some very bad comments right now last meeting. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, who else was in that pool of appointments right there that got passed over? And we got Mark Eister. Well, how? I mean, I know Dan Alfig was in that pool.
No, he was.
But they put him on the Wildlife Council, I think, as like a stepping stone. But,
is Dan the gentleman that he hopped on with us? He was right. That was who hopped on.
Yeah,
we just had him. I would love for him to be a commissioner.
Oh,
he's a wild card.
That dude's wild. He's a wild card. I love it. Love it.
He's a good dude, man.
Every time we asked a question, I was like, I am not sure where this is going to go. And I kind of like it.
Yeah, dude, I was walking past one day and he was like rehearsing his speech over there in the lunchroom. And I was like, oh, I can't wait for this one. And he gets in there. He's like, Mark Eister, you awake? You alive? Can you hear me? I was like, oh, God, this is fantastic.
Yeah, he's
good
great.
dude.
Yeah, real good. No, he brought some. He hopped on for a couple minutes and really told us a couple things to check out, and I'm looking forward to looking at those. So
yeah, he mentioned something earlier. Another thing, we were talking about the Wildlife Council. There's the Nimrod Society too that a lot of people don't know about.
Yep, gentleman right there. He's on it. So
we're gonna look into that. Merle Jones sat down and said Nimrod Society.
Yeah, there's all these things people don't know about that are going on.
Yeah, you caught a stray. Sorry.
Caught a stray.
I was like, you know about Nimrod? I was like, yeah, there's one right there.
Yeah, that wasn't a stray. That was a deflection.
That was that was a zinger. It was a zinger. that was a 2.8 mile 30-6 bullet.
Yeah, that's it.
How'd you like Merle's rebuttal when he got up there? So I want to talk about gravity.
I'm up here to. What did he say? I'm up here to advocate for gravity.
Well, what was great is we were behind because we were pausing the stream and talking. Yeah. So he came and talked about it before he had talked So we like foreshadowed it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Then we get to go, okay, let's listen to what
Because
Merle
I
said.
paused it for you, and then we talked, and then I was like, all right, Merle left. We'll listen to Josh and Merle. It was great.
Well, I didn't sign up until, I mean, I had no want to talk at this meeting at all. I was just going to come observe, you know, take it easy. So I signed up real late, and then he signed up after me.
He said he had to.
And I felt the same way. Like, dude, somebody said something.
Skier made a good point. We're going to always sign up for 5 minutes as Rome or something, and then one of us can always get up and talk.
I think it'd be good for us to, at least with the listeners that get into this, like, send us your comments. Like, send us your comments on things that you would like to say. And let's just kind of pull them out and go, all right, one for $1, one for this, and then have a voice here. We'll just take our 5 minutes and go, just so you know, we've got 785 people who sent us emails, and out of those emails, this is what was said.
This is the concerns. Yeah.
That's cool. I don't know. Today you might have got out there and said the Rampola buck is real.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We need to know.
And I'm not saying that I won't. If that's the only thing that comes in, I might.
Love it.
They would enjoy it, you know. So
Absolutely. Well, Josh, thank you very much. I think I'm going to wrap this up. We're about 4 hours in.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
a lot of good segments that. Oh yeah, we thank you for. I don't know how many people are gonna listen to this later, but we're gonna get some food. So
and I don't envy you. You've been sitting on this wood bench.
I have.
My ass kind of hurts a little bit. So
4 hours.
Well, I think.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, Josh.
Thanks,
thank you very
guys.
much. Appreciate it,
what
brother.
you do.
Yeah, man.
All right, got some sign off here to do.
Yeah,
Skeeter?
I got some sign off to here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're wrapping this thing up. Thank you for joining us on the Rome Cut Podcast live here at the Michigan NRC meeting in Lansing, Michigan. So special thanks to everybody that showed up. 2O Gear, Blocker Outdoors, Whitewater Fishing, Rusty Arrow, or Trusty Arrow. I said Rusty. Brenton USA, Rome Syndicate, Vitalized Seed, the Ina Store, Deer Hunter Synthetics, Wildlife Legends Taxidermy, Find It Fred, and Max Rustic Sport Shop. Thank you all.
Yellowstone AI.
And
cameras.
Yellowstone AI. We can't do it without you. We appreciate it. And Nate here and Skeeter, we're out of here.
We're out of here. Thank you, Josh.
Yep.